And also in the meanwhile, put your names and the serial number here. Put it in the chat box. I need your serial number and the name. Okay, I'll mark the attendance. Okay, ma'am. So let me share the screen. So see here, what is servlet and what are the why we are going for servlet. Let's see. First two thing is we know what is Java object oriented paradigms, right? So what are the different things we have in OOPS concept? So like polymorphism, inheritance, and then abstraction. So these are the concepts, like data hiding, encapsulation, everything we know. And now we also learned about what is Java annotation. We have seen some examples for that, right? So now we will move to the server side scripting. The basics are you should know what is servlet, JSP, and how we are going to handle client side data and managing the session at servers and cookie. So how it gets stored. Okay, so that we are going to see. And these are the agendas. See, this is the main architectures we have. Like here, it's a web client, and the HTTP request goes, okay, and it comes. But behind this, so this is a whole web server. So here we have two things: request and response. Okay, the request is goes to the web component and the Java Bean component, and then it moves on to the database, and finally the response sends. So this is a static web work. So the first one is web browser request static page. Okay, this is a request and this response and how it goes on. This is all the same thing. Okay, so now what is so what is a servlet? So servlet is nothing but it's an important component of a J2W applications, enterprises editions. Okay, and along with this, we have something called JSP and EJB model. So servlet is a Java programming language. Okay, and used to do create a web application. So normally, what we'll do, we'll go here and we'll create a Java project, right? So now we are going to create a dynamic web project. So for that reason, you are using this servlet and is used to extend the application hosted by the web server. And this is a life cycle. So first it starts loading and instantiation happens. So this through the init method and the service is handled. So whether it is a request, so the request will be like this, and finally it will get destroyed. And in this process the init and destroys will be happen for one time, only once. Okay, and the servlet architecture, look at this. So web browser is there and the request goes on, so goes on to the servlet container and the response comes back. Okay, what are the advantages of using this? So this component is it provides component based and platform independent methods for building the web applications. So each request is run in a separate thing. And also servlet overcomes the limitation of CGI program. So CGI is nothing but before we were using the CGI. Okay. If you see, the CGI is not portable, but when you come to servlet, it is portable and Java virtual machine. So it runs on a JVM. Okay. And so see here, so already I told you it's a platform independent, and also it handles a concurrent request. So we'll see this and then we'll run the program. Okay. Servlets often contain both business logic and presentation logic, so it makes application difficult to understand. Okay. And so these are the different. Servlet is portable and this is not portable. CGI is a common gateway interface. Okay, this is handled by the lightweight Java thread, and this is by in a heavyweight OS process, the CGI. And data sharing is possible in servlet, but when you go with the CGI, the data sharing is not available. And a link directly to the web server. We can link it directly to the web server. So we will see the example. So how we can filter run the process. And next thing is a servlet API. So it is supported by all the servlet container, such as Tomcat, WebLogic. So now today we are going to use Tomcat. So I have downloaded it. So Apache Tomcat, and this contains the interfaces and classes to write a servlet program. So in this, in the servlet API, so what are the things will be there? So we have, it contains interfaces and classes. So we know already what is interface and class, right? So class contains objects and methods. So that is called as a class. And interfaces are the same thing. And it has two packages. So this, if you are not going to have this package, then it will throw an error in your coding. Okay. And then required tools to create a web application. So if you are going to create, you need a JDK. Yes, we already know how to download a JDK file, right? And then Servlet API and Eclipse. Yes, I already downloaded it, and I have now I'm using as a portable one. Let me show you. So I've kept in this folder. Okay, so see here. So in this folder, I have a Eclipse. So if I double click on this, close this. Yes, it is opening. So now, and then Tomcat application server. Yes, let me show you that also I've downloaded in a portable. So I have downloaded 8.5 version. Okay. So now these are the requisites. These are the things you need to download to run a servlet. Okay. So this is simple example. Okay. Uh, so how to create a Java file, that Java file. So actually, uh, after creating a file, so you have to code it like this. See here, what are the things they have given? So just these are the importing files, and if you see, this is a class name. Okay, you should mention the same name here. Same name, and it extends the HTTP request, which we already learned. See here in the API. Uh, See here, we need to use this servlet HTTP, right? For that, we are going for the HTTP servlet. I think it's in a diagram. See here. HTTP service request and response. Okay, this we need, and these are the procedures they have given. So I'll tell you how to do this and how we can run this program. So they have given a simple program, and also they explained about the cookies. This will run this. See here. After doing all the installing the Apache and everything, so you need to do one thing. See here. So now I think this is okay. This is uh, yeah. So this is a servlet file. Okay. So see in this, if you're creating a servlet, just go here and new and click on dynamic web projects. Okay. And you can give a name for this. I'm giving a name as servlet. Okay. And just click on next. So see what is the version you are using. So I'm, as of now, I'm using 8.5. and it is in a 3.1 model version. Okay, just click next and click next. And definitely you need to generate this web.xml deployment scripter. Okay, so click on this and finish. Okay, so now I have a servlet. So here you can see deployment scripter is there and web services, Java resource built and SRC. As of now, to create this, I am going to use Java resource and SRC folder. Okay, in this Java resource, just right click on this new and create, click on the servlet option. Okay, okay, everyone is listening. Okay, so in this option, you need to give a class name. So class name is, I'm giving servlet A. Okay, this is my class name. So click next, next, and finish. Okay, so now what I will do is I already created this file. So I'm just going to get it from here. Where is the Java resource? So now after copying this, I'm going to use, I already told you we are going to use Java resource and SRC file. Just go here and go to SRC. In the default, we have a servlet here, right? So just copy and paste it. And you need to change the class name. So what is the class name? Servlet A. So you'll not be getting any error. Now, so remove this line as well. Okay. So now I'm going to use this. This is done. The Java resource is done. So go here to the source, main, and web apps. So in this place, I will create one file. So let's see what is a file. Okay. So now in the web apps, you can see the web.xml file, right? So here also I have a web.xml.file. Okay. So this is the format. So I'll explain you what all these. Okay. As of now, so I need to give the display name. So display name is our class name. Okay. Sorry, that is a project name. And then you have to mention the thing. So what is the thing? It is your class name in the servlet name, and the servlet class is also the same thing. And here also you need to mention. So just copying this, go here and paste it. And now, so what are the things you need to change? What is the name of the project? It is servlet, right? And the next thing is you need to change this. This is the class name. It is servlet. And here also you're copying this. And in this place also the same thing. Servlet. Okay. Now, so this is our project, right? So I'll right click on this, go to run on server. So now you need to mention this one. Here you need to mention the file name, that is this one, servlet dot servlet. Just mention this servlet. So now you can see the servlet interface example. So just go to the code, go here. So here you can see the output has been printed as servlet example. Okay, so this is the output. And next thing is whatever you have mentioned here, that is system.out.println, it is going here. This is a request which you have given. Okay, so the init, so where it is the first thing is inside init method has been initiated. And what is the servlet name? Servlet name is servlet A. So the name has been mentioned. And what is inside the service method is your output. And once it is done, it will destroy the inside method. Okay, so this is how it will. Okay, so this is a very simple example. Now I will explain you what is the coding. Okay, okay, this is the basics of servlet, and I'll discuss how we can use this init method, and then service method, and how the life cycle works. Okay, so we'll have a small thing. So the first thing is servlet life cycle. So how it works. Okay, so here the first thing is it can be the entire process from its creation till destruction. Okay, so the first thing is a servlet is initialized. How it is initialized? Using the that is init method. So these are the import classes we should get. Okay, if suppose while you are installing you get an error here, so you need to change the Apache Tomcat. So uh, you can directly downloading, just make it as a portable one so that it will be easy. Okay, so next thing is the first point is servlet is initialized by init method. The second one is servlet calls the service method. Okay, and then to process the, why we are using this, to process the client's request. And the third thing is a servlet is terminated by calling destroy method. And finally, what happened is the servlet is a garbage collected by the, so it is collected by the what? Garbage collector of the JVM. Okay, so this is a process. It was happening. So I'll tell you what are the methods we can use for this initially. So for the initial, see here, this is a method we are using. So this is a class name and it implements the HTTP, that is servlet. And I'm giving the field, okay, using a servlet config. So servlet config, you can see when I click on that, you get an information, right? Servlet configuration object used by the servlet container to pass information to the servlet during the initialization. So in the start, yeah. So in the PPT, we have come across that word, right? So called as nothing but servlet container. Okay. So that will be a container. So servlet has been handled in that particular thing. And the next thing is after this, what are the methods we can use it in a servlet? Okay. So the first thing is init method. So how it works? Okay. What are the things we are going to use? So this is a init method. So this init method, so I already told you, is called only once. Okay. And it is called only when the servlet is created. So if the servlet, that is Java file, has been created, it is called only when the servlet is created. Okay, not called for any user request. So if the user requests for any information, it will not be called. It will be called when the servlet is created. So it is used for one-time initialization. So just as with the init method. Okay. Actually, if you see, the servlet is normally created when the user first invokes a URL corresponding to the servlet. So see here. So in this project, what we have done, we are just running using a server. So after doing that, you can see the is the page. I will run it again. Click on this, click on next, finish. So here I'm giving a class name servlet A. Okay. So in this place, you can see, so there are two inside services, right? But it is not initiated again. So you can understand. So if it is a servlet thing and you are approaching it for, the user is approaching, it will be created only once. But you can call it many times using a service method. So again, I'm closing this. So if I run this again, okay, run as, and on server, click on this, click next and finish. So if I go and give a servlet, so it's servlet here, So see here again, it is a, the service method is created, but there is only one init method we have. Okay, clear? And um, so when a user invokes a servlet, a single instance of each servlet get created, and the new thread is handed off to get or to post as appropriate. So in service method, we'll see what are the things. So how the service method works. So in service method, if you see, so this is main method to perform the actual task is given, and this servlet container calls the service method to handle the request coming from the client and to write the formatted response back to the client. So the handled request by this particular service method. So this is not handled by it method. It is only performed by the service method. And you can understand the what are the service methods. Checks the HTTP request. So if there is any HTTP request is there, and what are the types we have. So here we have something called as get, post, and 08. So these are the methods we are getting. And to call this method, what are the things? We need to use this method, do get off and do put off or do delete. So like this it will be. And what is the signature of this method? So how we can do this? So signature is nothing but you need to use public void service. Okay, this is a method, and inside this you need to use two parameters. So one is service request, okay, and the second one is service response. So here what happened is I already told you about throws keyword, right? So throws keyword, we will use it in the method. So this is a method. I'm using a throws keyword. I am going to use two things, okay, exceptions. So one is a servlet exception. The other one is IO exceptions. Okay, so these are the two, throwing. We need this exceptions. Okay, it may be input output or it may be a servlet exceptions. Okay, and for example, so nothing to do with the service method, but you override either to get or to post depending on what type of request you receive from the client. Okay, so do get and do post are most frequently used within each services. So we have some, two services which I can define you. So do get or do post. So see this example. So as of now, we know how to do this, right? So now, so this is an annotation, and just come here. Here, this is a public void service, and you have two requests, okay, and it will throw a servlet exception and IO exceptions. Okay. So in this, we'll be having some two methods, that is which is frequently used. I'll tell you. First one is do get method. So do get method, public void, and do get off. Okay. So this is a method name, and the same thing. You need to use the request. So request is if it is a that is it is a HTTP request, right? So HTTP servlet request. It is a request, comma, and one more parameter is HTTP servlet response. So again, this also, throws, we are using throws keyword, servlet exception, and then IO exception. So within this, we'll be having a servlet code, and for the do get method, the same thing, do post also the same thing. So here you need to mention the servlet code. This is a main thing we will use it for the servlet. So there are so many examples we have. So as of now, this is a simple example, and we'll go with now. We will learn. So before going to the JSP, I'll let you know. See here, you need to create a dynamic projects. So first in the Java resource, you need to create a servlet. Okay, and then when you move on to the web apps, you need to create the web.xml file. So in this, you'll be having a source. You have to go to the source, and this place display name is what is your project name, and then servlet name and servlet class is nothing but your servlet class which you have created. You need to mention if it is a URL pattern. If you're removing this and trying to, execute this code again, let's see what happens. Okay, so this is how you will be creating. Okay, so this website webpack.xml is very, very important. So while you are creating a dynamic project, you need to mention this. Okay, and now we will understand what is JSP.